Hello, Satan. Hello, is it Satan?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Where is
Messiah? Yeah, Messiah is here. Demon is here. Satan is here. So everyone ready?
Yeah, shall we start?
So, yeah. Messiah, please tell the topic of the day.
The topic for our discussion is, even Hollywood can't produce anything like Montreal Screwjob. So Montreal, who's your daddy?
Nah, it should be said like that. Montreal, who's your daddy?
Okay, let me start. So as a demon, I'll start first.
Yep.
So I'll start now. My thing is, I think it is a poorly work by Vince McMahon, Bret and Shawn Michaels. The reason I think that it is very simple. If anyone can use the logic and understand the thing is, in 1987 there was a very lack of heel. There was not even proper heel. Anyone was like in a character way. They were desperately a heel who can put over the fans in the seat, and there was not a single proper roster in that business at the time that who can push that much. Even Manson was failing, and if you remember that time Kane debuted, but he was not that much it factor that was required. And they didn't want to turn either heel because Kane just debuted at that time. So they wanted someone who can at least grab the branding. So, and Rock was also the Rocky Mafia, if you remember him. He was also in a level, but he was getting booed because of his some skills was missing, not because of his character. So the thing they did was they thought whom to push, and they chosen this one, the person Vince McMahon, because they thought why don't we have an evil boss? Because anytime if you see kicking someone's boss's asses, everyone's heel, and so they thought why don't we turn McMahon heel? And so how can they turn anyone heel? The best way to turn anyone heel is to insult their hometown hero, or do something in their personal hometown which will make anyone angry. So what they did is Vince McMahon, Bret and Shawn Michaels, they planned we'll do something, and they did it. Shawn Michaels and Bret was going to WCW, and if you look at carefully Bret's career in WCW, it was not that much good. He was not that much of a athlete. He was very rarely used to come to shows. He was not a part-time, he was regular features, but not that charisma that he had, that he was carrying in WWE. It was like he was just getting pushed like a machine. He didn't given that much good matches. He just became like a robot who was supposed to do some stuff. So I can say that it was like that only. So I can say when 1900 Survivor was approaching in Montreal, Vince McMahon told Bret that you have to drop the title. And Bret also agreed because he thought, okay, even if the contest signing was coming, Vince McMahon was like, will you go to WWE for money or will you come here and you get some fame? Because if you see, WWE was always about entertainment, and they wanted to entertain the crowd. Even what I heard is Vince offered another rematch, Shawn Michaels and Bret at WrestleMania 14, but Bret refused that match. So the thing what happened is Bret and Shawn Michaels, they planned that we have to do something, and they were behind us in the headset was also there. So Bret didn't want to put over Shawn Michaels because he was like, I will put over someone else, I will put over Mankind, Rocky Mafia or Triple H. That time was Hunter Hart MC or anyone else, but not Shawn Michaels. Even if you look at SummerSlam 1987, the moment Undertaker lost the title to Bret Hart, it was the moment we thought that he will say the Undertaker Survivor Series, but it was turned out to be Shawn Michaels. So that's why WWE was winning. So Vince McMahon thought, okay, why don't I become the evil person? So at a Montreal Screwjob night, everything was decent. Even no one knew. Not even single roster came to know. Even the Undertaker was not known. We didn't know what will happen. Because if you remember, I was told that I was twisting my belt and able to hit Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon, but nothing can be done. So it is done. And Vince McMahon didn't open the doors till the morning because Undertaker was very much furious at him. So what they did is Vince McMahon, and they all stand, because if you see at the Bret Hart, in 2006 he got inducted in Hall of Fame. How many years? It is 9 years after Montreal Screwjob. That was the most top. 7 years, I think, not 6.
13 actually.
13, yeah. No, 2006 he got inducted.
He got inducted in 2010, WrestleMania 26, Bret Hart versus
no,
and Lumberjack match.
2006 he got
2010.
inducted.
2010.
2006 he got inducted in Hall of Fame. If you want, you can I bet my 100 rupees on you. And if you lose, you have to pay. You have to just transfer that money to me. If I lose, I will transfer. 2006 Hall of Fame, Chicago Hernandez, Bret Hart was inducted in Hall of Fame. And the thing is that nothing happened was, if Vince McMahon was really hated Bret, and if Bret really hated Vince, he would have never come out and after the Hall of Fame speech and all. So first of all, we see that Vince McMahon was in a commentary, and if you see the match before, it was a very grudge-type match. For first 13 minutes, they are representing the bell. They were fighting around the whole arena because they wanted them to just to come out. And after the Screwjob happened, Shawn Michaels was also a bit shocked because it was made like that he was shocked. And if you spit on a Boston, if it was not a walk, it was real. If today you spit on a Boston, if anything happens, the boss will never buy the hat. And in 2010, if you see carefully, the reason Shawn Bret Hart and Vince McMahon, because many people in Montreal were doing Vince McMahon anything, and it was very hard to do business in Montreal when Vince McMahon was going there because people will be hating like anything. So Vince McMahon, let's do something, and they pushed to in 25, 25. But Bret Hart condition was not good that time. His health was decreasing. Now, 26 came and they done it. If the well time was in 25, because 26 anniversary, that would be like 2010, 11 years in the making. But it is the Bret Hart was pushing it. I must have to say. And it was 25 already had some legends now, so he was like, it will not look good. So in 26 they made the match. And that's why they were no holds barred, so at least all the Hart Family Foundation also get a revenge. So that way they can show that we are satisfied with our revenge and we don't need any revenge on it. So I think it's the work, but the work that is done by Vince, Shawn and Bret, no one can replicate because it will take a very guts that we remember this today. And in 2020, if you discuss this topic, that shows that this is a master of art because this art has showed. Nothing can replicate that. Not even Breaking for 2009 when the Undertaker got a screw job. That was also a Montreal, but nothing can replace that. That's the you taken and Messiah.
Okay. So now from this point I want to continue just because, like what you say, that represents what happened and your point of view that you were saying that was a walk. But I want to say like a conspiracy theory can never be true. A conspiracy theory is a conspiracy theory. And we all know controversy creates cash. But who said this? Controversy creates cash. This is a statement given by Eric Bischoff. Yes, Eric Bischoff, the person in control of WCW. 1997, that is not 2020, that is not 2010, it is 1997, the Montreal Screwjob. That is not a normal era. That is the era of Monday Night Wars. It was war on TV ratings. WCW Monday Night Raw versus WWF Raw, Monday Night Raw. That was going on. So, regarding this Montreal Screwjob, this work or shoot or this is real, whatever it is, this is a significant point because this has made a turning point in Monday Night Wars and ultimately leading WWF winning the wars. But what happened? Why this needed to happen? Because just after the Survivor Series, Bret Hart's contract was going to end and he was going to WCW. So, like people will ask, just because there's a conspiracy theory, this has a shoot involved. So people going to ask where a shoot gets involved, where there is a lack of trust. So did Vince McMahon had lack of trust on Bret the Hitman Hart? I will say no. Vince McMahon had all the trust in Bret. But Vince McMahon had no trust on Eric Bischoff. What he can do when a champion, the WWF champion, will not lose his title, not put over any star, and will hand over his title to someone, and the next week that same person will appear on WCW Nitro. Eric Bischoff can have done anything to destroy WWF goodwill. He could have ended WWF Monday Night Raw in that very moment. So that's why Vince did something like that. That is my personal belief. And now coming to that rivalry, that Shawn Michaels versus Bret the Hitman Hart. If you want to shoot, like shoot is not about saying that, that person's wife hate that person. That person's third kid and actually his kid. This is not shoot. This is telling someone's personal life. But what is the shoot? When you can mix a wrestling thing into a personal life, or you can brought a personal life into a wrestling thing. And for giving a shoot, you need a good rivalry. And Sean and Bret had that because they hated each other. They were extremely talented, both of them, but they had a very ego clash. Regarding the build-up of the match, you also can see the promos. That was very heated promos. Like Shawn Michaels mentioning conspiracy relationship between Sunny and Bret Hart on live television, or Bret Hart mentioning the Shawn Michaels Playboy magazine cover page photo on live TV. That shows how much heat they have. And even they fought backstage, and Shawn came to Mr. McMahon and said, Vince, this is an unsafe walking platform. So there are these things. But what happened? Like in that moment when Bret Hart refused to put over Shawn Michaels because he hated Shawn Michaels, then there was only one option for Vince McMahon. Everyone else thought Vince somewhere will convince Bret Hart for losing the match. But he failed. Then Vince McMahon, one fine evening, sat with two of his producers and two of the top producers, one being Jim Cornette and other being Vince Russo. And they says that one of them had the idea of this shoot because something like that happened in 1930s. That is known as the Battle of the Bite. A same shoot, a same screw job kind of thing happened. And this thing has been brought up by Jim Cornette. But in this other hand, like Vince Russo also claims that this idea belongs to him. And the same way Jim Cornette says that this idea belongs to him. So they have a personal rivalry on regarding who has this idea. But let that discuss in some other time. But what happened? That Vince McMahon had this idea that we can shoot and we can shock the people by doing that. But he never told Bret Hart about that. He told Bret Hart that the match will go on, and at the end, British Bulldog and your brother Wayne Hart will come and end the match in a no contest. And the following night, you will hand over me the WWF title. Bret Hart was happy, but that didn't happen. We all know what happened. While Shawn Michaels locked Bret Hart with his own submission hold, sharpshooter and the referee Earl Hebner, who by the way was very close to Bret Hart, was forced to inform the ring announcers to ring the bell. And after that, we know what happened. Like the crowd gone crazy because Montreal, the hometown of Bret Hart, Canada, we all know. And there are some backstage things that I have heard on a recent documentary that after that match, Undertaker gone furious. He said that this is not right, Vince. And then Vince said there is something. And then Bret Hart came and punched Vince McMahon on the face. And while leaving, he looked at Shawn Michaels and he tapped him on the shoulder and said, Shawn, thank you for the match because this match will be remembered for the ages. And Shawn Michaels was in tears. That's how we ended that Montreal Screwjob. And like I discussed, what led that to happen, what kind of behavior. There were several behaviors. First of all, the rivalry, the heated relationship between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, two extreme talented athletes. And that they have one more reason, that is the competition between WCW and WWF. And somewhere the Orlando Blaze factor, what happened in 1996 with WWF Women's titles. So Vince somewhere had that fear also. So that all leads to that. But what was the aftermath? What happened after Montreal Screwjob? What created that? Which event was created by Montreal Screwjob? And I will say WWF Attitude Era. Because like you said, Mr. Demon, that they need a big heel. And if you look at that time perspective of United States of America or Canada or even European countries like Germany, Italy, England and other countries of European Union, in that period there was a common thing of hating the bosses. We all hate our bosses. And in that event, Montreal Screwjob created the evil boss Vince McMahon. And we all know that the next big thing or the next big face Stone Cold Steve Austin kicked the boss's ass, and that's where Attitude Era got famous. But I believe the beginning point of Attitude Era is that Montreal Screwjob. And that's why I say even Hollywood can't produce anything like Montreal Screwjob. Now handing over to Mr. Saturn.
So, thank you, Mr. Dimon and Mr. Messiah. We were on those 1990s and 1980s era. So, well, let's now go back to the present time and just focus and an immense power and the underestimate and the underrated thing which we are not have a spotlight till now, and it will be not in future, but it should be. So our topic is Hollywood can never produce anything like Montreal Screwjob, but there's a very much thing in pro wrestling business and Hollywood. The thing which can grow up the star or can bury the star without having any hands on the official, any rights on official. Yeah, it is the internet world, the IWC, Internet Wrestling Community. How much we are being, there's a lot of pages in Twitter, social media, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, having haters, fans, lols, etc., etc., etc. They have a very much an upper hand on this. So let me come into that 1997 era, 1980s and 1990s. So here it is. Well, we know that Vince McMahon. Well, during that Vince McMahon 90s, 80s, but as right now, we know that Vince McMahon is the next chairman of the WWE. But in 1970s and in 1980s, the most fans knew only Vince as an on-air commentator and interviewer, but they had no idea that he also had an upper hand. He is the boss of the backstage thing. But during that, World Wide Web was being increasing rapidly. It was rapid increasing. The interviews, the backstage news, the rumors, which we are having right now, how we actually do that, and yeah, due to that, we all are fickle fans. Yeah, the Daniel Bryan in a promo said that, yeah, we all are fickle because having so much thought in a particular place of time, we have a fickle minded. Like we also need this and also need that. We can't be satisfied in one particular thing or particular view. But due to that, and you know that pro wrestling can never be able to have that type of level if WWE didn't do that screw job, because he created this, the kayfabe thing. Yeah, that time many wrestlers were thinking that wrestling is fake, but it actually is, wrestling is scripted. Because due to that, worldwide, in order to work, this was a smart truck audience which created a screw job and turned him into a villain. Because that thing called babyface and heel, it is the mother and the father is a WWE. They created this term, heel and the babyface. That wrestle is turned into babyface, wrestle is turned into heel, and all these things, all those things come into the social media thing, IWC, Internet Wrestling Community. That during that, how the advent of the World Wide Web changed all of this. The Internet put on an end of many other things myths surrounding pro wrestling. That wrestling is not fake, it's just scripted after all. So after in Hollywood, well, let me come to that topic. Hollywood, we can have like no wrestler can have this type of Montreal Screwjob in ever, not in a Hollywood, not in a pro wrestling community or a business, because after internet is the thing that can make the views, make the audience to think to a larger extent, that the officials can think to have a unique idea on that. They have to how much they got into secret or like, and you actually heard this that NXT American Bash. I guess the Indian wrestler who actually is in an earlier stage in NXT, I guess an official would have been paid to leak that pic. I guess because if it is not been said by official, but till now that wrestler would have been fired or terminated or suspended, but it did not. According to me, I don't know about the news and aftermath of it, but I guess due to this, that time was Monday Night Raw, and right now it's Wednesday Night Raw. Raw and SmackDown is doing great, having millions and billions of views. But in this AEW and WWE, they didn't cross until 1.1 million. It's just going into a phase of 700,000 viewers and 800,000 viewers. But so WWE thinks, what if we leak a peak of those and pretending to be that they are having two alternate results of it, but the thing is, it will be one. It's the thing that internal wrestling community is the cause and is the blessing of it. So it's my turn. It's my time. So back to you, Mr. Demon.
So the thing we heard from Messiah, we heard from Messiah, we heard from Satan. So now my point is that this is what I personally view is, see, in 1997 WWF was in a verge of losing many stars because many stars were getting good offers from WWE. And that time jumping ship was a very nice offer for them because if you can understand, that time offers were very good and they were getting creativity control everything. And they were very less there. So what I personally believe is that time WCW was verge of very much of a boom. In a boom time, they were doing very much nice because Hulk Hogan was there, Kevin Nash was there, Scott Hall was there, many wrestlers were there who were legends. So WWF was in a verge of losing everyone. So what they did is they thought, if we lose everyone, how can we survive? Because if you see the new generation time, they are not even that much good talents were there. So they need a very good talent source and a heel. Because a heel who carries the business is the one who excels. But that time, they had no other choice but to choose Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon character, everyone was, because that time, during that time, there was a recession was going on. And everyone in the USA wanted to keep their boss. So, we used to always think that anyone wants to keep their boss, if they were chance. Even you, me, anyone. If they have a male or anyone. And Vince McMahon posted everything that a evil boss does. Putting a good superstar into trouble, bad superstar into the good position. So this was Vince McMahon was following steps. And if you follow the Vince McMahon of 1997 to 2004, it's not the same Vince McMahon of 2010. In 2016 onwards, he is a changed man. He is not the same person who was in making a decision. Because now he thinks he is the owner of the monopoly. So I think personally that it was a work. And Hollywood must learn a lesson because how to keep his character for so many years is very nice. I personally believe that the way he played the character during that time is very hard to keep. Because in digital era, I think, as Satan said, that internet wrestling community, they will not let that happen. They will fear the heels more because nowadays heels are getting more like a face. That's a very bad thing. If you see Kevin Owens, like he said Kevin Owens, then Seth Rollins, like his crowd were they were feared for him. Now their performance and their style are better, so they are doing. But when Seth Rollins was a heel, 2014 also, he was getting a little bit feared also because the way he was doing the tactics, it was like a heel, but crowd being that he was doing that. And nowadays the thing is sensitive ball. I don't think you can see anytime Montreal Screwjob. Because nowadays you can in sensitive ball, if you do anything like that, the next game you will find that he does that.
In a sensitive world, if you do something somewhat, not that total 100%, maybe 20%, people will say it's controversial.
Yeah.
So people will blame you. But at the end of the day, controversy creates cash.
Yeah, but if you controversy creates cash, then
like I want to say, like according to the great wrestling booker of all time, the greatest of all time, Paul Heyman says, how do you shock people? By doing what hasn't been done. So we have to do new things. What hasn't been done.
Which nobody expected. Nobody expected.
What nobody expects. Like, we all know that underdog can win a championship. We all know one title can change hands. World Championship, WWE Championship, Intercontinental, Women's, United States, or Tag Team. Championship can change hands. We all know. We don't get surprised. We get fun. But what we get surprised of, let's talk about today's birthday boy. He can surprise us because we never saw today's birthday boy. You don't know whose birthday is today? Okay, let me tell you then. What surprises the audience is what surprised us when we first time saw The Undertaker losing at WrestleMania. That surprised us. That is done by Brock Lesnar and today is his birthday. So, like Montreal Screwjob, if we want to repeat any Screwjob, not Montreal, anything like that, we have to do it at the moment. Everyone or like no one will expect that in that moment, and by that we can make another great moment.
But I think
and that needs to follow up because the CM Punk and Undertaker Breaking Point 2009 that has zero follow up.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I said.
What happened? I'm also a big taker fan, but the next pay-per-view and Undertaker defeated CM Punk within 10 minutes, I believe, or within 15 minutes in a Hell in a Cell. But that is not a proper follow-up. We need a proper follow-up. So is there any questions regarding my part of discussion, the why Montreal Screwjob took place and why, like, in which factors it benefited?
My thing is that you even follow my thing is, I think Montreal Screwjob can be again happen. Say Bobby Lashley and Randy Orton. What do you say?
Okay, we can discuss that on a later video because that will
No, they can repeat that, but they need crowd.
Even like Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre can repeat that, but we need a proper storyline for that because today wrestlers are very much talented. Any talented wrestler with a heated rivalry can repeat that, but except what we need, what we lack these days, that is a good storyline.
Yeah, and a good creative freedom because
creative freedom also, yeah.
The thing is nowadays talents are just feed the word. They are just feed the word. They just spoon.
Yeah, those things we can discuss on later videos. So anything on this Montreal Screwjob topic, or we can end it here?
No, I have one.
Any question regarding my session? What I said, why this happened? Any question you guys want to ask me?
No, I don't have. You have one mind?
No.
Like no question.
I had. Yeah. Okay. So we are ending this topic here. Even Hollywood can't produce anything like Montreal Screwjob. Because Montreal, who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
So sweet.